All right. So I want to take a step back because, like, I know I've been kind of heated, but I'm not like necessarily mad at anyone. I just want, I don't know, I just kind of want people to be productive. Not that I'm not saying they're not trying to be productive. I'm not saying that anyone is trying to intentionally do things in a way that isn't good. But yeah, I know I had that whole rant about programming languages the other day. Um, And I'm not telling you you have to learn C. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should learn any low level stuff. It doesn't. It's dependent on what you're trying to do. If you're a web developer, it depends on what you're doing in web development. I guess like if you're a web developer, maybe you could learn low level stuff. But if you're just making a website, I think a lot of the time I don't think you're going to really need to know C or anything like that. So I just want to put that out there if anyone's like, oh, maybe I should learn C, it just depends. There's languages for different needs and different reasons. And I was just saying that, you know, sometimes we overcomplicate things and we don't need everything that languages give us. There's a lot of, in my opinion, it's in my opinion, I think there's a lot of useless stuff languages have. Um, so I just wanted to recap on that. I don't hate you. I don't want to think whatever about that. I just want people to do like make cool things. I want people to be happy and doing things they want to do. Um, Sorry if that came off the wrong way. That's not my intention. But I wanted to teach people how to teach themselves because I think that's probably more important than anything I could show you on this channel. I mean, I don't I rather if someone could teach themselves things than they have to um, rely on other people to like sit down with them and teach them. Having a teacher is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you can learn to teach yourself things, I think that's a lot more valuable. That's me. So I want to go through some like things that I do, and I don't know it might help you. Um, so I wrote a little sticky note here. Um, if you're trying to learn a book, like a math book or whatever it is, and you come across this explanation and you realize, oh my goodness, I don't get this. Um, Break it down into pieces. Like figure out what one part of it means, figure out what another part of it means, and break it down into pieces. That's the best thing you can do. And learn what parts of it mean. And then once you've done that, kind of connect the pieces. And then once you've connected the pieces of like, okay, well, this means this means that means this, see if you can describe what it's trying to tell you in your own words that make more sense than what you think it's telling you. And sometimes what it's saying might be fine, but if you find the whatever you're reading or learning to be not the way that you understand it, rewrite it. Rewrite it in your own words to where you can understand it. Um, And I think, writing is a big part of learning too. That's just, at least for me. If you have, if you can get a book as a physical copy, I think that's great because you can write in all the pages. I always, where's my camera? It's hard to figure this out. I always write in the sides. Like sometimes they're basic things, like things. It's just sometimes like you might forget. I don't know. Like here, I forgot what I know what an interval is, but I just wrote it on the side so I can quickly look at it. And I don't know. I might write basic things on the side, but just you can get the PDF and write in there. I mean, if you want to do that, I guess. But I like the physical copy because it's just easier than just storing a bunch of PDFs. But yeah, that's my recommendation is to write things down if you're trying to learn something. Um, and also when you're learning something, this is um, a big thing. And I think a lot of the people who teach things, this is why I think they teach incorrectly, and I probably do this. I don't know. I probably do this. Is get anything that is unneeded to like, if it's not going to help you learn what you're trying to learn, get it out of the way for now. Like, it might be helpful, this thing that's with what you're trying to learn, but just ignore it for now. Like, if this is an opinion that's very controversial, but whatever, I'll just bring it up. If, like, for me, I'm learning Vulkan right now. What I had to do was get C++ out of the way because there's too much stuff in C++ that makes it hard for me to figure out. Once I removed C++ from the equation and started learning Vulkan and just C and just writing out functions using the vulk.h library, suddenly it's like, whoa, I get what's happening. I get what this function is doing. I get what this is doing. So get unneeded stuff out of the way. And I'm not saying that you won't need that stuff later. It's just to learn what you're learning now, get all the other stuff out of the way that isn't going to help you learn what you're trying to learn. And then try to work through your own examples, like find creative ways to help you retain that knowledge. So like the other day, I was trying to get better at calculus, and I made a live stream of me trying to find this volume of a box equation, or find the maximum volume that would work for a cardboard box. If it, like, what would the dimensions be, and what would the maximum volume be? How would I get the maximum volume with these? What dimensions would give me the maximum volume for this cardboard box? And yeah, just give yourself problems to do and give yourself creative ways to do it. Like, you don't have to write it down on paper all the time. Maybe you can program something that might, use your mind a little bit more. And another thing, use AI. Like, I'm actually serious about this. Like, if you're learning something, read the documentation. That's very important. But then if you don't understand something in the documentation, give it to AI and be like, hey, like, what does this mean? Like I'm trying to learn this function. What does this mean? I don't know what this means. Give it to AI and have it try to figure out what the heck that means. And learn that way. You have a lot of resources. Like, I think I think we have an abundant amount of resources to learn right now. The unfortunate thing is that the hiring situation is kind of weird right now. But the good thing is that anybody can learn right now, and you can learn so many crazy things right now, and it's so much easier to learn. That's why I keep promoting this AI thing, is because it's not that you should rely on AI to do everything for you. And I think it depends on what you're doing too. Like, if you're writing a small script, I don't know, I guess it might not matter that much, like whatever. I was making a tiny calendar application. I started off making it just with AI, and then I like refactored it. It did a lot of things weird, and it put the code in weird places. And I refactored it and wrote it myself. I didn't write it myself. I don't know why I said that. I shouldn't have said that. But I rewrote it and changed some things to my liking, and then that was cool. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to go through. So, use the tools you have to learn. Don't be scared of topics. Most of the time, you overthink things. So, like, the word calculus can be a scary word, but it's not as most of the time, the simplest answer is actually the answer. Not all the time, but like most of the time, we overcomplicate things, and we think we got to have this crazy answer to something that's like really hard to figure out. And most of the time, it's just it's not as hard as you think. So yeah, don't be scared of things. Like, and at least for me, like with a lot of the math that I'm trying to relearn and stuff like that, it's just a lot of, I mean, at least what I'm doing so far. I don't know about the future, because it's a lot of, at least for me, I've noticed that math is just really just a lot of rules that you have to remember, and formulas you have to remember, and why you use this formula. Why do you need to know this thing? And it's just remembering a lot more so than anything else. Yeah, you can do the multiplication and subtraction and crap in your head too, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, don't think things are as crazy um as that your head is going to overcomplicate things most of the time. And then I want to take this quote from, like, I think the guys that I look at the most for programming and stuff like that would be you're probably not going to be surprised by this one, but um well, maybe you are, I don't know. Linus Torvalds, Terry A. Davis, even though I don't know, I think he's a cool guy. There's a lot of controversy about that. And uh who's the third guy? There's a third guy that I can't, it must not be that important if I can't think about him right now. Um but those are like there's three of them that who's the third one? It's messed up. I can't think about who that is. But yeah, those are some of the people that I kind of look to. And Terry said something super awesome, I think. He said, I have to even look up the quote. Terry A. Davis, idiots love complexity, something like that. It's an idiot admires complexity, a genius admires simplicity. A psychist tries to make it simple for an idiot. I make it simple for I don't even know what that word is. Psycho? Oh, I'm so dumb. It's all right. Physicist tries to make it simple. For an idiot, anything more complicated it is, the more he will admire it. If you make something so cluster fudged, he can't understand it. He's gonna think you're a genius, because you made it so complicated nobody can understand it. That's how they write journals and academics. They try to make it so complicated people think you're a genius. So don't go for that approach. Try to make what you write understandable for people, because you want people to understand what you're writing and you want people to understand what you're doing. Because, I mean, at least for me, I want people to add on to whatever I make or do. And I think that would be cool. I think there'd be benefit in that. So I think if you're just making something so complicated that people can't understand it, you're kind of like isolating yourself, and I don't think that's good. I think you know, I don't know. I think we need people to I don't know. I think we just need people to make things not unnecessarily complicated. That's that. Um I hope you will take the time to learn the things that you want to learn and progress towards whatever it is you're trying to accomplish with programming or whatever. All right. That's it. I am ending this now. Okay, so there's one thing I'm just adding now to this video is that I thought of something very important, is that on the topic of also using AI is, if you, for example, like I was having trouble trying to figure out how to do the graphics pipeline, like how the graphics pipeline worked in Vulkan, how to create the the chain, and all that stuff that's involved in the graphics pipeline. And I was trying to figure out, how am I actually going to draw something to the screen? Have AI try, it might not work, but have AI try to write a program for you as much as you can that just does like a simple example of writing, drawing a texture to the screen, and then go over that yourself. So see if you can find code examples and find other things that people wrote and look through their code and work through that. That's a big thing too in learning, at least for me. Yeah, so if you can't find an example of someone else who did this thing, like I was not finding anybody who did Vulkan and C, like nobody really does that. Have AI do it and work through that. So yeah, look for code, find whole code examples that does the thing that you're trying to do, and work through it yourself. That is super important. I don't know why there isn't more examples like of like there needs to be more code examples, especially if you're learning something like Vulkan. Like there's no examples on the website of you just set it up like this. Like well on the documentation. I don't know. It's just I don't know why they don't do that. It almost seems like gatekeeping to me. Like I don't want other people to learn this and we're gonna make it seem like it's so complicated you can't do it because we're not gonna show examples and we're just gonna put a bunch of words out here.